Yo, so glad you're here. We're going to cover the fastest and slowest wide receivers of the 2020 NFL Combine. So this is our plan of attack together. We are going to look for some clues as to what makes these guys fast and compare the reps side by side. Some may have a little bit faster reps, some have a little bit slower reps. Then we're going to show the 4 fastest guys side by side as well as the slowest guys, and then we're going to compare the fastest and the slowest together so you can make faster. So we're going to have some fun. Hit that like, hit that subscribe for me if you haven't done so yet, and let's get into sprinting fast for these guys in the NFL Combine. Okay, so we're going to break them down together and we're going to have some fun. So I'll put myself up over here. Hopefully I don't disappear. Oh, maybe I do. Come on. All right, cool. So a couple things. Let's see what we got going on here. So first rep, this guy is, what's his name? John Hightower. Let's see Mr. John run. So I'm just going to let his first rep run full speed, just normal playthrough. Obviously he's a fast dude, 4.4. Out of Boise State, and this was his second rep, 4.56 or 4.53, so almost a tenth of a difference. All right, so now we'll put these side by side for you guys to make it break down a little bit easier. So let's check it out side by side. Some things that we notice and difference that will break it back down. His speed technique. All right, so real quick, where's the side by side? All right, here we go. All right. So I believe he took about 20 steps the whole time. So let's count them out real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. All right, so look at 20 steps. On the right side over there, oh, this way. He's on his 20th step at the 40-yard dash, and this other one, his slower one on the left, he is at 39 yards. So that 10th or near 10th is literally a step. All right, so let's break this down real quick and let's see what we can see if any clues as to why he was able to cover more ground. So again, we like to use steps when covering a distance just because it's kind of an indicator of how much force you can apply to the ground. Obviously you have to be reactive as well to bounce off of it, but let's break it down real quick. I personally, watching this a couple times, I think you'll see on the right side, watch, like it almost like he's gonna stumble. Like right now, he's like forcing that excessive lean. Normally that's not a good thing, but when you're a faster athlete like these and you guys, this raw power that these guys possess, like they can kind of get away with poor technique somewhat, right? Because he's shooting out so hard and so aggressively that it's almost forcing him to keep his lean so he can apply more force horizontally for his acceleration, obviously. So as you can just tell, it looks like a difference. Obviously, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, but obviously he just powered through and is able to work for him, right, for his acceleration. Personally, I think that's where he kind of covered ground or was able to why that one rep was a little bit faster, just because he had that forced excessive lean and he's just trying to get out of there. So that's just kind of what my opinion is from that. You can tell he's just kind of like excessively dropping his head, kind of, just forcing the lean way too much, and then naturally getting to this upright position. He's still running with his head completely tucked. Now he's getting a little bit more upright right here, right on the right side. He's getting more upright, getting taller at the end finally. Again, this is all speculation, but that's why he was able to cover more ground and land on his 20th step on the 40 as opposed to just behind it, all right? Next up is going to be Donovan Peoples-Jones, wide receiver from Michigan. We're just going to run his first rep through and then compare it to his second rep. So first rep's up, 4.56 on his first one. Second one looks very similar. We'll try to break it down. So this one he ran a 4.48, so nearly a 10th difference again. And now let's run them side by side, full speed. And we'll just kind of try to break down. Now we're going to rewind that, and we're going to break it down. His first rep, or his second rep was on the right. All right, cool. So his first slower rep is on the left. All right, and let's break it down step by step. All right, so personally, I think he already won the start in this situation right here, because look how much more up he is on his projection. This was his slower rep, his 4.56, and this 4.44. Let's look at this adjustment difference. He's definitely way more out versus way more up. He's almost even hyperextended, almost a little bit like a bow, right? His spine. It's a little bit like whatever. This camera's backwards. Can't figure it out. Anyways, you can see like the bow effect, right? And his spine almost like he's overextending, and this causing him to come up a little bit. And then versus, look at that head position, right? His eyes are down. Here his eyes are shooting straight out a little bit more in front of him. This one he's almost looking straight down towards the ground, or almost at his toes, right? Like that forward head is kind of getting him shooting forward, right? Personally, I think that's where the biggest difference was. His start completely is terrible in my opinion. He's a pretty tall dude. I think he's like 6'2", 6'3" wide receiver, but he looks very crouched, right? It looks very crouched, but whatever. He's still a fast, powerful athlete. And anyways, and just way more like powerful, way more straight, like direct, straight out. And then obviously from here, that's just going to help him be in a better position to accelerate and get more horse going horizontally. Man, this guy is such a puller. Look at it just looks like he's reaching for the ground, like he's just reaching out and just clawing and pulling the ground with his glutes and his hamstrings. It's almost like he landed flat-footed too, like his heel striking first, but these guys are just so powerful, man. They can kind of get away with that stuff. And then it looks like he just naturally, on the right side, on this faster rep, he just looks like he naturally rises smoothly a little bit more. Versus on the left, watch, he like kind of flips his head up like excessively, like really fast. He just kind of abruptly picks his head up. Versus, let's play that back on the right side really quick. And just kind of like a nice smooth gradual buildup looks like. Also on the left, watch when he gets to like from 20 to 30, he looks so excessive, like rocking side by side, right? Let's just run it kind of slow motion. Like he's getting like this little head nod and everything, right? Like little head jerks and bops. He just looks smoother and steadier on his 4.4 time. It looks like kind of jerky. I don't know, just kind of interesting. All right, so now we're going to run over the 4 fastest guys real quick. So first up, Henry Ruggs, 4.28. So look at him just cooking. Obviously looks smooth, relaxed. Obviously he's a fast dude. Quez Watkins, I don't know what school that is. Iowa State maybe. 4.36. Guy's cooking. Darnell Mooney, 4.38. So obviously these guys are fast. Jerry Jeudy, someone might have ran faster, but these are the popular guys. 4.46. All right, now we're going to run them side by side. All right, let's run these guys side by side. All right, we'll run them back one more time for you. Let's go slow motion. All right, you can just tell from the angles. All right, so I think it's fastest over here on the left to slowest across. So look at the similarities. Great big push. You know, eyes are down, trying to drive out. Covering ground. Some guys are faster than others, obviously. But then they're just off to the races, right? What are some differences that you notice from these guys? How many similarities, right? There's way more similarities than there are differences, right? So that just comes down to being a powerful athlete and being reactive and getting off the ground, right? So look at the mechanics are pretty similar. Again, we only got this angle to work with, you know, for the combine. We'll run it back kind of slow-mo. Just smooth and steady. Breaking these down, let's check out their steps. So obviously their steps, again, are a indicator of how much force to put on the ground, but also depends on their limb lengths, right? Some taller guys will take less steps, but maybe they have a terrible ground reaction force when their foot hits the ground. They're not reactive enough, right? So let's check it out though. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. All right, so Ruggs took 19 steps to hit the 40, right? Let's compare that to Jeudy over here on the far right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 20, he's still in the front of the 40. So I think these guys are similar builds. I'm not sure. I have to check their height and weight and everything. All right, but that's just an indicator that he's putting more force into the ground compared to Jerry Jeudy from Alabama, right? So the mechanics, again, for these guys aren't that different, right? That's where it comes down to. That's another whole video that we're talking about too. I think speed mechanics, obviously they are important, but they're almost overrated, all right? Or because again, this makes no sense to be very good, flawless technique if you don't have any horsepower to go anywhere, right? So I'm not saying it's not important, you definitely should, and there's a technique to it, and it's an easy way to shave some time off, but you got to be an athlete and be a freaking dog, okay? And just have an engine and some horsepower to work with, right? All right, so now let's go over the slowest guys. All right, so these guys are obviously still fast classified, but they're just slowest compared to the combine, so not knocking on these guys whatsoever. But just a good compare and contrast, right? So Malcolm Perry ran a 4.63. Benjamin Victor from Ohio State, 4.63. One more. Cody White, Michigan State's finest, 4.7. All right, so just what are some differences that you see in these guys, like number one, compare to themselves, but also two, compared to the other guys, right? So we're gonna just let this run the side-by-side that we got for you guys. They don't really look different, right? They look kind of almost as fast. Breaking these guys down side by side, they all have like different nuances to them, and everyone has a different running, sprinting technique. So it shouldn't be all look the same, right? So like this guy right here on the inside, look how he has a great, powerful push out. You can tell he's had some coaching. Look how violent he is with those arm swings. Look how big that arm's up and in front, right? That's kind of number one. And two, look at he's in a good position in this situation to apply force back into the ground and cover some ground, right? Compared to this to Benjamin Victor, you see, look at his posture is deviated. He's kind of forcing that excessive lean, and he can't really get out of that. So his hips are kind of back, and it causes him to step a little bit more down. Watch, he'll step down as opposed to backwards with that foot. Versus here, you can see this guy takes the time to create some negative foot speed and get that foot traveling back to the turf, right? And then also here on the far side, Cody White, look at, this is what happened. He's a reacher. He looks like he's, like number one, he looks like he launches out a little bit weird left to right. But also, look how vertical this shin is compared to this guy's, right? This guy's more horizontal. His is way more up and down. So again, he's stomping down on the ground. And it looks like he's reaching for ground, like he's like reaching out in front of it to pull it, grab it, and pull through, right? He could be a puller, and this guy could be a pusher over here, the different kind of sprinting profiles. And also Cody White looks like he's like, again, kind of bobbing left and right again, not steady, especially compared to Henry Ruggs, which we'll play them side by side in 2 seconds. Let's run this back again. Looks like he's heading bopping side to side like he's off balance, right? All right, so now this is Ruggs versus White. Okay, so the fastest versus pretty much the slowest. We talk about those angles that we talked about. Look at this, almost parallel. This guy's obviously perpendicular. He looks like he's overly rotated. So they each cover ground in, I think this is their 7th step. I think that was Ruggs' 7th step. And that was Cody's like 7th right here. Just look how much steadier and smoother he is, right? Look how much more aggressive he is with his arms. So those are just some things that kind of make the differences of the faster versus slower wide receivers. So I'm curious to know, what are you guys' thoughts below? What are you, what are some things you see that I might have missed? All right. Also, if you are an athlete and you are a football guy and you want to run a faster 40, we actually have a faster 40 program. Okay. So again, it is a complete workout. There's a warm-up system. There is workouts, sets, reps, videos of every single exercise, of speed training, strength training, and it covers 9 weeks. So that's a great program. You can enter the code YouTube just for checking out the video. Appreciate you here checking out the video. If you're a high school football guy, you're looking to get faster, then this would be a program that you should want to grab, because it's going to help you cut 1 to 2 tenths off your 40 time. It's stuff that we do in our gym every single day with athletes that we coach just like you. So if you're a serious athlete, go ahead and grab that today. I promise you won't miss it and get it at a discount. So hope you have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.